Hello and welcome to Long Winding Road, a podcast created to inspire you to embrace your unique path. I'm your guide, Stephanie, a multi-passionate mystic, medium, spiritual teacher, and everyday human. My journey has had a lot of twists and turns, non-linear as they say, and learning to embrace that and share my most authentic self with the world has been a long road of self-discovery, inner alchemy, and acceptance. In this space, I'll share personal insight, channeled guidance, as well as tools, techniques, and tips to help you navigate your own journey. So if you have a curious mind, enjoy all things spirituality, and are ready to remember the magic already inside of you, then you're in the right place. Let's begin. Today, I'm going to talk about following our dreams. I'm not talking about dreams like winning the lottery, which, as nice as that would be, it's a dream that uses money as a savior. That once we have money, our lives would be better. It's something that we would use as an escape to hold us back. Like, if I lose weight, then I'll start living my life then. I'm talking about dreams like you want to be a potter, but you've never even taken a pottery class, or it's a hobby, something that you don't even talk about. It's something that you don't see worth pursuing. Or it could be this desire, this feeling, this urge to move somewhere, like a different country, a city, or even a country across the country that you currently live in. Maybe somewhere you've never been before, yet you can see yourself there, or feel this sense to move that doesn't seem practical or realistic. Sometimes we hold ourselves back from following these dreams because of the external factors like the money, like holding extra weight. Sometimes we hold back because of fear. Sometimes we hold back because we don't trust our dreams to be real. Then there are some of us who don't even know our dreams, but we feel something inside of us that knows where we are isn't right, or it isn't in alignment. Some of us don't think we deserve dreams or can't dream because we have been living in fight or flight for so long. All we can focus on is survival. Our bodies can't even handle dreams. When I was misdiagnosed at 21 and put on medication, my dreams died. I couldn't see anything past my current experience, and because of all of the medication, I didn't think or feel. I just took whatever came my way. I thought that I deserved everything bad I experienced, even being in an abusive relationship. I couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. It was step after step in the dark, feeling lost and numb. Most of the time, I simply accepted that was all life was. I wasn't living. I was existing, and barely existing at that, for the next 20 years. When my soul started coming online in 2012, I wasn't aware. I just felt urges to take steps outside of my comfort zone, like following a career path I didn't think I was good enough for, going back to school, and buying a townhouse. These steps weren't in alignment. They were steps I took based on external guidance or what I thought I was supposed to do. I don't regret these decisions that I made. Even though they weren't necessarily in alignment, they were part of my experience, my journey, and they did propel me forward. I learned a lot, and they fast forwarded me to a crisis that I had no choice but to answer, but to stop and to start to discover my true self. I came to learn that the universe nudges us, and if we don't listen, the nudges become stronger and stronger, louder and louder, until they knock us down, which is exactly what happened to me. And in 2016, my soul was like, wake the fuck up. It was this year that I started to feel the light within me growing stronger, and I began to fight for my life. I began to search for meaning, and I began to listen. I began to follow the breadcrumbs my spirit and my soul left for me. My need to understand was very strong. I wanted to know everything. And it all started with astrology because it was something that I was familiar with and loved in the 80s and 90s when I used to read my horoscope in the back of a magazine. So I learned more, and I learned how our natal chart is a map or a blueprint of who we are, who we were, and where we're headed. I started to connect more deeply to my intuition by learning techniques through practice and by building a relationship with Archangel Michael. In 2015, my friend took me to get a psychic reading with her. And the psychic told me that when I hear the name Michael, I'm on the right path. Well, that didn't make sense to me, and I also figured that it would actually be a person. When another friend introduced me to Archangel Michael Oracle cards about a year later, it was an energy that felt like home. It was an aha, in a sense. There was also a local New Age shop that held weekly workshops, and I started going often. I started to learn anything and everything that piqued my curiosity. I learned tarot, I learned Lenormand, I learned numerology, I met my spirit guides, my higher self, I trained in Reiki. I started to explore how trauma is held in the body and what trauma actually is. And then I learned how to move the energy from my body. These understandings were a huge part of my healing journey and my self-discovery journey because they led me to shadow work and parts work, and I started to look into myself, look at myself, and I started to face the parts of the things that I didn't like, the parts of me that I downright hated and resented. I started to go really deep into transformation. I started to dive deep into this world of inner alchemy, and I started to connect with energy and spiritual alchemy. All of these things were a part of who I've always been at a soul level, and they're all things that I'm here to share. These are gifts that I have, and I see it through my North Node in Scorpio, and I love it. It's scary, but I love it. 2019 was a turning point in all of this because I started to see the connection in things, and my senses came online in a whole new way, a way that didn't scare the bejesus out of me. As a child, I saw things, aliens, ghosts, and they terrified me. I didn't want to see them, and I didn't want to go to sleep because that's when it all happened. That year, I stopped Lyme treatment, and I started to dive deeper into energy healing with a practitioner. I also started to solidify my voice by speaking my boundaries, by asking for my needs to be met, by saying no in the real world and in the spirit world. I began to step into my sovereignty, understanding my role as a co-creator, my role in choosing what I wanted, what I didn't want, and how to develop my relationship with the spirit world. Being woken up in the morning by an ascended master and alien was not okay. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to set the time and the space of when I connected and with whom I connected. In 2020, I discovered Holy Fire Reiki and Akashic Records. And these two things were game changers in my journey. With Holy Fire Reiki, one day I heard a voice telling me to find a Reiki practitioner, and my inner knowing guided me to the right one. I had received my level 1 Reiki certification in Yusui lineage in 2018, but after that I never really used the Reiki energy on myself or even worked with a practitioner. The practitioner I had led to worked with Holy Fire energy, and one Holy Fire session unlocked so much for me. And that practitioner became a very important person to me and one of my dearest friends to this very day. And eventually I was called to obtain my level 2 master's Reiki certification in Holy Fire, which, if you have not experienced Holy Fire Reiki energy, it is so beautiful and transformative, and I would even call it transcendent. I had been working with a quantum energy healer since 2019, and we became friends. She had an Akashic Records reading one day and told me I absolutely had to have one. It was a full body yes, even though I had never heard of the Akashic Records. The idea of it felt both foreign and familiar, and connecting into the Akashic Records with the practitioner was like this aha. It was something that I had to know more about. I had to get in contact with his energy, but not through someone, with myself. And so I took a course. I took a course in how to access my own Akashic Records, and it was both thrilling and intimidating. Opening the Akashic Records is like opening your web browser. You need some idea of what you're looking for, what to ask, and the more specific you are, the better, more detailed and accurate the information you receive. At the end of 2020, during another Reiki session, we did a holy fire experience. And in the experience, my guides, my soul, told me very clearly to study a different type of Akashic records. And of course, I listened. This information led me to an Akashic Records Reader's Course, where I learned how to obtain details of an individual soul blueprint. And the amount of detail and information I was able to access was truly amazing. I love the fact that I had more structure in what I was able to access. It was something I needed to build my own confidence as an intuitive channel. It gave me structure to work as a medium. Eventually, I did not need this structure or even a prayer to access the Akashic Records, but honestly, it was such a beautiful gift for my soul. It was another breadcrumb in helping me discover myself and also served as a gateway to working with individuals. This is how our soul guides us, with breadcrumbs, and it's up to us to follow. One of the requirements of the program was to do practice readings with individuals to receive the certification. And truly, I'm not sure how I would ever have had the courage to work as an intuitive or a medium without it. Doing the readings helped me recognize the significant impact understanding your energetic blueprint can have on someone. We all have this innate inner knowing that we don't fully understand or trust. But by learning your energetic blueprint, whether it's through your natal astrology chart, your human design chart, or Akashic Records, it provides validation to that inner knowing. It helps us remember and rediscover our gifts. It inspires us to trust our intuition and empowers us to start following the breadcrumbs our soul left for us. Most of my clients reacted in the same way, usually with tears, and they would say, "I knew that. I'm not sure how I knew it or had the words for it, but I knew it all along." I was able to translate the language of their soul and give voice to their inner knowing. Serving as that bridge was and continues to be a magical experience, and one that I do not take for granted or take lightly. For me, astrology provides me with the knowledge of where my soul has been, where it's going. It shows me how and in which areas of life I am meant to learn, heal, and grow. It provides details into how that energy plays out in my life, the cycles and opportunities where I can lean into those lessons and times of growth. Human design is a system that shows me how my energy is designed to operate in its highest expression. It's a roadmap that you can use to learn how you can be more effective, more efficient, and how to live a life that is more joyful just by following this energy map. Akashic Records can help you understand so much about yourself. Intricate details about your soul history, past lives on and off Earth, life lessons, what your soul has studied, where it originated, your gifts, your purpose. Akashic Records with astrology, galactic astrology, you can trace your soul origin in this galaxy and map out all of your lives, including potential future lives, your role, your lessons, trauma. And through Reiki and other energy healing modalities, you can understand where in your body their blocks are, where these blocks are held. Connect into your chakra system and move or heal these blocks and open up your energy center so that you can operate in alignment. There are so many modalities, tools, techniques that you can get overwhelmed and end up even more confused on your self-discovery journey. And the best guidance or advice I can share with you is to learn to trust yourself, to build that trust muscle and to find your voice. Begin to connect to yourself and listen. There is no one outside of you that knows yourself better than you. No one. You don't need anyone or anything outside of you to connect to that inner wisdom, to God, the universe. All the readers are filtering through their own experience and are human, so they can get things wrong. Astrology and human design charts are intricate and can provide way more than face value. These tools are helpful, but unless you have a relationship with yourself or use them to build that relationship with yourself, they are useless. Discernment is the most important thing. And how do you learn that discernment? Practice. You start slowly and you build that muscle like any other skill. You start off by quieting your mind and connecting into your body, by meditating or breathing, whatever technique that works best for you. Then beginning asking questions. Use things that you know the answer for. Feel into your body. What does yes feel like? What does no feel like? For me, yes feels like electricity moving up and down my spine. No feels like a pit in the bottom of my lower abdomen. There are variations depending on the question, depending on the strength of the yes or the no. Some people feel energy outside of them or have a simple knowing. Some may feel the energy in different areas of their body. The key is understanding what you feel. Recently, someone had said to start with things that are a strong no, like jumping off a bridge. Not the question for extreme sport lovers, obviously, but typically that's a hard no. So tune into your body and ask that question, or imagine the scene where you're being asked to jump off a bridge. What does that no feel like? Where do you feel it? And then begin to strengthen that no muscle first by asking more of those questions and begin to bring in the yes questions. Finally, listen to that discernment with everything. Does a doctor or practitioner suggest something that is a strong no? Listen, because your body knows you best. Then, the more you listen, the more you follow, the stronger it becomes, the more breadcrumbs you receive. The more vivid your knowing and your dreams become, whether that's exactly where you are or where you're meant to go. Also, have fun. Don't be afraid to change your mind or get things wrong. Nothing is black and white. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Get comfortable in the gray. As you evolve, your perspective is going to change. The teachings or the teachers you love will change. What resonates or doesn't resonate will change. There's no end point. The game is over at the end point. And are you ready for the game to be over? You aren't meant to have all the information. We are all on this journey at varying degrees, and no one has all the answers. There are always more layers to heal, to shed, to discover. All you need is a curious mind and a sense of adventure, or something inside of you that is guiding you forward to take a chance on yourself, that wants to know the true you, the most authentic version of you. I'm excited to meet that version of myself and that version of you. So join me here next time and we'll continue our journey together. Thank you for listening. I am so excited and passionate about this podcast, and I am grateful that I get to share it with you. If you enjoyed what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review because it means so much to me. And if you know someone who is ready to embrace their unique path, please share to help grow this community. I'm also interested in what you have to say. If you have any suggestions or topics for an upcoming episode, please leave a voice message using the link in the show notes. I look forward to continuing this journey with each of you. Until next time.